We'll see. Hey, Jim Northrup's on the line. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, how you doing?
How's it going?
I'm doing all right.
Do you have an NCAA pool?
No.
You're not in that?
No, we don't. There's only me and one other guy in the office. Well, there's two other guys in the office, and neither one of them can spell basketball. So I doubt they'd want to get in the pool.
Well, Jim Northrup and some of the other Tigers helping out Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle as you guys are doing a little charity work tonight, Laugh for a Miracle. Donations $20 per ticket. VIP and group tables are available. You can go to www.michiganmiracle.org. And what are you guys doing out there tonight, Jim?
Well, tonight they're going to have a silent auction at 7, and then there's a comedy. And I'll be there, and hopefully some of my teammates might be there. All the proceeds go to building the Miracle Field. And so that's the big thing that's coming up like tonight. Then April 24th, we will have a wine tasting at the Big Rock Chop House in Birmingham. Those are familiar with that. Remember
Big Rock, yeah.
Eaton,
definitely.
You can't beat Big
Eaton
Rock.
Train station.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And they've done a tremendous job there. The cost is $65 per person, $120 for a couple. They're going to taste 100 different wines, they tell me, and appetizers, jazz music, and a silent auction. And, of course, we're a nonprofit organization, 503C. And what we're looking for is, as you said, the MichiganMiracle.org. We're in the process of raising $535,000 to build a Little League field for any physical or mental disability an adult or a child may have. And
oh, great.
They started this in Atlanta with Ronald McDonald's, and it was a man who had a son playing in Little League, but he also had a daughter confined to a wheelchair who's a brilliant little girl, but has been in a wheelchair ever since she was born. She wants to play Little League. And so he got together, and they built $1 million stadium, and now there's 7 of them. 7 states are going to have a Miracle Field. And any physically or mentally disability child or adult can participate. Southfield has been very, very good located. The city of Southfield has donated all the land, and that's no small factor because that land is worth a fortune.
Wow.
And we're in the process of raising that money and building the field for the kids. And so we're looking for corporate donors, and there can be signage in the outfield for corporations like they do in even baseball. It used to be just softball. But signs will be on the outside fence. And
I've always liked baseball fields with signs on the wall.
Yeah,
it's kind
I
of
do too. Well, in the minors, that's all we ever had.
Yeah.
And if you hit them over certain signs, you might get a bowl of roses. Or they had one in Durham where if you hit it through a little ball, a hole in the wall, it was about, I'm going to say, 8 or 9 inches.
Yeah.
You got, I forget, money. Like $7,000 or $8,000 from a bank.
Is that the park that Bull Durham played in the movie?
Yeah.
Kevin Costner?
Willie Horton hit it through the ball, and they disputed it and wouldn't give him the money.
Oh, come on.
No. But anyway, in the minors, we had all those signs and everything. It was kind of fun, and sometimes when you hit home runs, you'd take your hat off and you'd walk around the backstop, and people would put $1 or $2 in the hat for you.
Well, it's only $20 per ticket they're looking for a donation for tonight.
It goes to the Miracle Field, and it should be fun with the auction at, everybody knows Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle.
Oh, yeah. Mark's great.
And, Mark is going to be doing that, and it should be a fun night. We're looking forward to it.
PG-rated comedy starring Chris Bliss. They got former Tigers players and celebrities, free Miracle League gifts and VIPs, and Ryder Cup raffle tickets. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That Ryder Cup's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be just monstrous.
They'll be auctioned off, but I'm sure there'll be a minimum.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had them.
Yeah, really. That's going to be a tough ticket.
I told Stevie Pecky, who is the president and leader of this, I said, well, you better have those under lock and key because I'll steal them. I'm not a thief, but I'll steal those because I know what they're worth.
Well, you 68 Tigers just don't go away. All you guys are still active and doing things in the community. And if you're not coaching the Tigers or working with the Tigers or broadcasting, you guys are still everywhere.
Well, that's true. I most of the guys, there are some guys, 68 guys like Freehan and Kaline and Willie Horton who are working, but the coaching staff in '84, the Trammels and the Parishes and different guys like that, Whitaker and those guys were down in Florida. So, it's unfortunately, Mr. Ilitch didn't involve the 68 guys in management, such a la Alan Trammell back when he first bought the club, because had he done that and had he listened to us, he wouldn't be where he is now with a minor league team. But
well, he does though. There are a lot of tributes to the players on your team in Comerica Park. I've noticed, whether it's pictures and stat lines.
Oh, sure.
And you've got the drawings of every suite has some kind of a tribute to one of the many players from the '68 Tigers.
They should.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were world champions. And,
what a great team.
And then the '84 guys, 20 years later, they were champions. And
well, they're certainly feated too.
What was it? 1935 they won.
Was it 35?
Something like that. I can't remember the dates.
Well, 34 they lost to the Gas House Gang. I know that.
Yeah. I don't know if they won in 35 or not. They could have.
They certainly did win with Greenberg at least once. They played the Cubs in 45, so they...
Maybe it was 45 they won.
Yeah, 45 they won, because the Cubs did not win that World Series in 40. Cubs haven't won since 1908, I believe it is.
Well, it was a terrific season, and, one the people of this city will never forget. And, of course, the majority of the 68 Tigers, a whole lot of them still live here,
Yeah.
Even, Hank Aguirre before he died, but Hank was from L.A., and he stayed. And Norm Cash was from Texas, and he stayed.
Yeah, you think a lot of these guys would have moved to Florida or Arizona?
Big time, yeah.
Kaline was born in Baltimore, but has always lived here since he was 18 years old.
Jim...
And then, of course, I'm from Michigan, and Mickey Stanley was from Michigan, Willie Horton, even though he was born in the South, but he lived his whole life here in Michigan. Gator Brown just across the line in Ohio.
How about Don Wirt? What happened to him?
Donnie Wirt is in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
He's retired by now. Don, he's near Hershey. I forget the name in Pennsylvania, but he's near that area. He's lived there all his life.
Jim had the game-winning hit in Game 7 of the '68 World Series, and I have to say, I've always thought this anyway, and I've discussed this with Darren McCarty, because he had the game-winning goal in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the final game. If I had the game-winning hit in the decisive game in a World Series, I think I'd wake up every morning and be the first thing I'd think about. Yep.
Well, it's when you get as old as I am, it's when you get up in the morning, you feel around to make sure you're not dead in the casket. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Am I still alive?
Well, the second thing I'd think of is, am I still the guy that got the winning hit in Game 7 of the '68 World Series? It just seems like you could... what a tremendous thrill that must be, and especially off Bob Gibson.
Oh, well, we weren't supposed to win. Well,
no?
We were the overwhelming underdogs. And
down 3-1?
Down 3-1, it didn't look good, but you know what? We never gave up, and that's the way that whole season was. And I can still remember Mickey Stanley and I were standing out in the game where we were down 5-3. I believe it was 5-3, and that's where Willie Horton threw out Lou Brock, and that just turned the whole thing around. And Mickey said, "Boy, it sure doesn't look good," because had Brock slid, he would have slud, however you want to say it. He'd have been safe. There'd have been a guy in third and only one out, and we probably would not have won that game, but he didn't.
So many big plays in that series.
Oh, yeah, and I said to Mickey, you know what, Mick, we've come back all year long. And I said, if we can win this game, and I think we can, if we win this game, we're going to beat these guys. And I'll be darned. Kaline got a hit, and we won 7-5, and then we went over and got them 13-1, scored 10 runs in one inning, and in the last game we beat them again. So, they forgot to tell us we couldn't win.
The 69 baseball card set has one for every game of that World Series. I don't know did you collect baseball cards at all?
Oh, some, but I don't think I have any of those. I sign them for people that send it to office.
Well, Game 1, it seems to, I'm trying to remember, did Bob Gibson strike out 17 Tigers?
19.
19?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's got a record.
I remember the card because it's Gibson strikes out, however many Tigers.
Think it was 9. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 9. The old record, I think, was Sandy Koufax at 17.
And then Game 4, Gibson had some incredible performance again. And so Game 7, you had to like Gibson, although Lolich had pitched so well. And sure enough, you guys are locked up in a... What was the score in the 7th inning when you got your triple? Or was that the 8th?
0-0, I believe. And I think it was the 7th inning, and I hit a triple...
was that over Kurt Flood's head?
2 runs, and then Freehan, I think, got a hit and drove me in.
Did you hit it over Curt Flood's head?
Yeah.
And what kind of pitch did you get?
Fastball. That's, I'd faced Gibson a number of times, and I knew how he liked to pitch. He had great stuff. I mean, I've never faced anybody, even though I was part of a couple of no-hitters, but Nolan Ryan whipped us in 68 with great stuff. But
well, Gibson had a 1.12 ERA that year.
The best stuff I've ever seen. I don't know how we ever got a hit. He had great stuff, and he struck out 19 of us. And I'll tell you what, Willie Horton, I think, was 19 to end the game. I was on the on-deck circle. I wasn't rooting against Willie, but I wasn't rooting for him.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Afterwards, better you than me. But I had figured out what Gibson liked to do. He had a great fastball.
So you were looking fastball.
I was looking. I said, he's gonna try and get ahead of you with that fastball the first pitch, and you better be ready, because that might be the only pitch you get to hit. And it was a little bit higher. I'd have hit it out of there, but I got it far enough to where Fudd was never going to catch it. He slipped a little and probably didn't see it real well.
Now, was it inside or up and outside?
Right. It was high, but it was down the middle.
Down the middle.
Yeah.
And what did it feel like when you saw it leave the bat? Did you know you had a hit?
Yes, I did. I
what a
thought
feeling.
For sure he was never going to catch it, because he was playing me a little bit to pull. And with Gibson, you can't play me to pull or anybody, because Gibson had all that. He had that great fastball, and nobody was going to pull him unless he hung a breaking ball. Well, but Bob was a great competitor, and we beat the best.
Was Steve Carlton on that Cardinal team?
Yes, as a rookie.
And did he pitch in the series?
I don't think so. Larry Jaster is the one I hit the grand slam off.
Yeah, I remember the grand slam.
From Midland, Michigan.
Wow.
And even then, when I played against him in the summer leagues, he could never get me out, ever. I beat him his initial minor leagues up in Canada. I hit a 3-run homer in the center field in the ninth inning to beat him. Then he came over to Syracuse, and I hit a grand slam off him in Syracuse. And so when I got him 2 balls and no strikes with nobody out, I said, best thing you can do is walk me. And I said, but you throw that funky fastball down the middle like you always do. He did, and it went. It was gone.
All right. Oh, that's sweet. Well, what do you think about the off-season moves? The Tigers have made a lot of moves, culminating with the signing of Irod. Does this look like a decent Major League team to you?
Well, they're going to be better. I mean, you can't be better than worse than they were last year. And they brought a minor league team last year, and it showed. I mean, they were a horrible team, but they didn't have anybody in the minors to bring up that was any good. We saw what they have.
But do you think Bonderman and Cornejo or Maratha, are any of these guys ready?
They have good arms, but they don't know how to pitch, and they're young, and we'll only know until they pitch again. We'll see if they've improved, and they certainly should improve, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. You have to go out and do it.
That's so true.
Yeah, and so they're going to have to go out and prove they're major league pitchers and they can win.
Well, they've got a little defense behind them now, and they've got
going to help.
Got some offense too.
They do have, and Pudge is. You have to wonder, why did those guys sign with the Tigers, a last place team that's not going to make the playoffs? And obviously, they got more money from the Tigers than they did from other people. So let's hope that the team will be better. And I think it has to be better.
Oh yeah. Well, the players that are here are going to be a little better, and the guys that came here are going to help too. I mean, Rondo.
Everything will happen. It'll have to be pitching. Pitching and defense wins, or defense and pitching, they go hand in hand. I mean, you can score all the runs, i.e. Texas, that you want to score.
Yeah.
But they don't have a pitcher. They can't get anybody out. And if you can't get anybody out, you're not going to win. Now, we saw that last year. We couldn't get anybody out.
Well, we're a lot better up the middle, though. That's for sure.
There's no doubt about it. Well, we had a minor leaguer second baseman and shortstop.
Yeah.
We had a guy in center field that, all three of them, their best deal was to walk or bunt.
Well, I can't get over all this talk about Infante all these years. Infante's coming, and he gets here, and just like how can you talk about Erie? I've never heard of a Major League team that spent so much time talking about their Double-A team, but that's all that we heard about for so long.
When that's the only thing you have to talk about, that's what you talk about.
But the guy isn't panning out that well in the first.
He has good hands and good speed, but he is a Latin, and there's nothing against Latins, but it generally takes a little bit longer for the Latins to mature. so we don't know. I mean, he has physical abilities, there isn't any doubt about it, but he should be honing them in AA, AAA, not in the major leagues. He was brought up a year or two too soon. He's not going to be up here this year either.
No, doesn't look like it.
He certainly, you never want to give up, because like I said, most Latins, not all of them, but a good deal of Latin American players are late bloomers. It's a different language. They're in a different country, and it just takes them a little more time to adjust. I mean, a good many of them don't even speak enough English to make them understand.
Well,
so when you try to talk to them, you have to have an interpreter. Well, that's pretty tough to teach, when you have to interpret for them.
Well, look at Darko Milicic. I mean, he certainly is finding that there's other issues besides basketball that contribute to success. I mean, I think it's a familiarization process that's going to help him. 18 years old and not speaking the language and just learning to drive and all those days. It's a real distraction.
It's going to be good, because they could have had Carmelo Anthony, and I'd have taken Carmelo Anthony in a heartbeat. Small guy later on, let me tell you that right now.
Yeah, Carmelo.
Up to the Pistons,
he's really rubbing it in.
Want to do? They have a pretty good ball club, but they'll make the playoffs. But like you say, Darko's, he may never make it, or in 2 or 3 years he may be the leading center.
Do you get out to the Pistons games and Red Wings games?
I have them season tickets all the time, but I got bored with it. I didn't like the demeanor of the players, and it just wasn't much fun to go out there anymore. And so I haven't been to a Piston game in years. I watch them on television once in a while, but mostly by halftime I've about had it.
Well, it's pretty exciting out there these days. I can't wait for the postseason, but we're here to talk a little baseball with Jim Northrup. Again, Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. Tonight, get out there, make your $20 donation, and you will help out the Michigan Miracle. www.michiganmiracle.org as a night of laughs to help raise funds to build Michigan's first baseball field for children with any physical or mental disability. With your support, these special children will be able to do what they never dreamed possible, and that's play on a baseball team. And Jim gave us a couple examples of people that want to do that. And this is a wonderful project, and, of course, great of Mark Ridley to get involved. And hopefully you guys can have a big night out there tonight. They've got some comedy, got some Tigers. Do you know any other players, or can you drop some names of somebody that maybe...
Well, I don't know. I sent invitations, but I haven't heard back from them. Of course, I don't know where they are. Mickey Stanley, I sent them to him, and Dave Rosema. But I don't know if they're in town, out of town, or...
Well, Rosema's usually good for a good time.
If Willie was here, but he's not. He's in Florida, and K-Line, they might come. But being in Florida, it's impossible for them to do that kind of thing, so we'll just have to see. We're going to have a good time without them. I mean,
Well, Jim Northrup will be there. We know that.
What more could you ask?
Hey, Jim, thanks for stopping by. It's always nice to talk, and come back sometime.
Yeah, and any corporation or anyone that has any interest whatsoever, you've given them the MichiganMiracle.org. Have them get in touch with us. There's donations available for a lot of corporations. They're very benevolent, and they sign up for signs all the time, and it's a non-profit deal for them. So we'd appreciate anything anyone can do.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Jim.
See you later.
Seacrest out.
Seacrest out. Seacrest out.
I wonder if he's going, huh? What was that all about?
Yeah, I don't think he quite heard it.